Meanwhile, we are just hours away from a US government shutdown, and questions are arising as to just how this will affect the US economy. Previous shutdowns seem to have had few long-lasting effects. However, some are worried this time will be different, with the job market already struggling and President Trump threatening mass layoffs. Joining me now to unpack that and what's at stake here, Justin Wolfers, Professor of Economics and Public Policy at the University of Michigan. Thanks so much for joining us, Professor. Obviously, this has happened before, but the economy is in a delicate state, so it's a shock it probably just doesn't need right now.
It's certainly something we don't need. But I think in terms of the economic consequences, it's just not that big of a deal. The US has over a number of decades now just gotten itself in this awkward situation where everyone fights in Washington and they threaten that they'll not pass a budget, and they threaten they'll shut down the government, and sometimes they call on that threat, but we all know eventually something will pass. And the real problem here is just the waste, which is we're not going to let public servants come into work. They won't be allowed to work, but at the end of the day, in order to do the right thing, we'll probably end up paying them anyway. And so that all just seems awfully pointless.
Unfair, though, isn't it? Because they have to work whilst not being paid, and they won't be able to keep up with their bills, and there could be a backlash there. So do you think there'll be pressure on the government to act on this combined with what they see in the economy?
You know, if you'd interviewed me at any previous time over the last quarter century, I would have said this creates enormous pressure on the government, and that it creates unhappiness because it's a deviation from the ordinary functioning of a moderately functional government. But this is not a well-functioning government. This is one where the federal workforce already went through with Doge, enormous pain in which cabinet secretaries wake up and decide they're going to fire people, and the next day the courts reinstate them, where it's been completely made clear to public servants that as much as they're drawn by trying to further the public good, that they're seen as the enemy by their political masters. And so in this current moment that we're in, if they shut down the government, would anyone really notice?
I'm sure a lot of people are just looking at politicians arguing, but how would you there are two alternative plans, effectively, aren't there? There's the Democrat plan and there's a Republican plan. A lot of people saying they're both as bad as each other because they involve as much debt. I mean, what's your view on that? How would you compare them?
Well, that's actually a really good point. So let's just get the facts out there, which is that so far through this fiscal year, for all the Doge, for all of the budgets, for all of the talk, for all of the tariff money, for all of that, in fact, the US budget deficit this year looks on track to be higher than in any of the recent years. We run large budget deficits when the economy is weak, yet we keep being told that the economy is strong. What that means is we don't have a rainy day fund for when things go south. So fiscal policy is utterly upside down, back to front, and completely unhelpful right now.
How long do they normally go on for?
Yeah. So it turns out there's actually betting markets on this. You might think betting on a football game is fun. Well, the only thing more fun than that is betting on a government shutdown, really. And so they say right now it's an 85% chance that we shut down tonight. We have seen last-minute deals in the past. That's why that's not 100%. The betting currently says it's likely that we'll see a shutdown of a few days. It starts to become a little bit more painful when we get to a point where we can't send military members of the military their paychecks. That would be the middle of October. We had one as long as 34 days just a few years ago. So look, it's anybody's guess, but I'd say probably measure it in weeks, but not in dozens of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So at what point, I'm just sort of looking for the tipping point here. At what point should we become really concerned, and which point they just basically have to bang their heads together and come up with a solution?
Oh, mate, if you want to know when to be really concerned, let's go back to Liberation Day. There's all sorts of reasons to be concerned right now, and there's all sorts of things going on, and it is just yet one more layer of nonsense. Look, the politics of this is that usually one side says, I'm not going to fund the government because it will be painful to the governing party, to their political fortunes if the government were to shut down. But this time we have a government and that's why they, for instance, closed the national parks. They want to make it look visible and painful so that forces both sides back into the room so both sides can come up with some sort of an agreement. But what happens when the Republicans really are quite comfortable with drowning government in the bathtub? And what happens when Democrats are focused on trying to draw attention to Trump and the White House and making him look bad? All of a sudden, that pain, which is borne by everyday Americans, becomes much less politically salient in this larger political play. And so it's quite likely that the public good gets left on the sidewalk here.
Okay, Justin Wolfers, as ever, thanks.